Hello everyone, I am Leah and this is Alice. And today we are going to mighty small country, Singapore. And some people say Singapore is a fine country. Because when it comes to Singapore, many people think of straight law first. But on the other hand, Singapore is a true fine country. There are many multiple cultures, multiple races. And Singapore is a very beautiful country. And today we will explore the fine country, Singapore. Let's go! And at first, we welcome Alice to share about some backseat information about Singapore. Alice, please.
Okay, I'm Alice, and so before we go to the Singapore, we need to know where is it. So I'm gonna introduce the location of the Singapore. So Singapore is a country in the South Asia and nearby the Malaysia and Indonesia, and it has a strait very famous. It's called Strait of Malacca. And if we leave from the Taiwan to Singapore by airplane, we need to take about 4.5 hours to go there. And the language. So in Singapore, they usually using the English, and Mandarin, and Malay, and Tamil Brahmi. So when you walk on the street and see the warning signs or a board and writing something you need to pay attention for, it usually using these four languages to write it. Like you can see the English and Chinese, and Malay, and Tamil Brahmi. So why Singapore using so many languages in there? You need to relate it to the next topic we need to talk about, the multiculture in Singapore. So for the most simple example is the clothing. You can see in the pictures, and the Chinese clothing, and in Indonesia clothing, and Indonesia clothing and Malay clothing. And for the people, you can see in the pie chart, the most biggest part is Chinese, and it's about 76%, and the Malay is 15%, the India is 7%, and the other is 2%. So because of the multiculture in the Singapore, the gourmet food in Singapore is also very choosy. You can choose for like the bak kut teh, and the bak kut teh is also famous for the Malaysia, and that just we mentioned before, like many Malay and Chinese and Indonesia person in Singapore. So the food usually is from this country person like bring to the Singapore. Like you can see the Hainanese chicken rice is from the Chinese person, and not only these two, but also like the Signapore and laksa, and yeah, these two is also famous for the Singapore, and you can choose these two trying for. So after this, I want to invite the next presenter to do a introduction for us. So let's welcome Merlion.
Okay, thank you, Alice. And I'm hungry now. The food looks so delicious. And now, after the backseat information about Singapore, now we walk in Singapore and explore the country. And now I will share some tourist attraction landmark in Singapore. And our first station is Singapore Botanic Garden. And as a picture you can see, there are many plants. Yes. And I have been there. And this garden is a tropical plant garden. And in this building, it's just like a small natural environment. And in this building, you will see many tropical plants. For example, cactus and this plant. In fact, I don't know his name. Anyway, and it's just like a small natural environment, and you will see the artificial river and waterfall. Yes, and if you enter this building, you will gain a lot of knowledge about tropical plants. And this is another angle about Botanic Garden in Singapore. And at night, they are so beautiful. They will light show and come with the song or music. Yeah, and some people will stay there and enjoy their time. And our second station is Night Safari. Yes, I've been there, and this is a zoo, but this zoo is so special. This zoo, most activity in this zoo is at night, and this is the zoo activity, and this is a performance, and you can see the performance do a stunt with fire. Oh, it's so exciting, and you also can take the shuttle bus in the zoo and tour the whole zoo. I think the view is so different because most time we go to zoo during the day, but this is at night, so it's a very fresh experience. And I think if you go to Singapore, you must go there. Yes, you will you will gain a lot of different feeling. And then we are talking about Merlion Park. Merlion Park in Singapore is a landmark, and it's so reputation. And there are always a lot of people there, and some tourists will take a picture with the Merlion statue. Yeah, it is a Merlion statue. And at night there are still a lot of people, and sometimes there will a performance. It's so wonderful. Light show come with water show, and you also can take the boat. And I think if you in a boat and enjoy this show, it is so romantic. You just like a fairy in the tale. It is so wonderful. And then I want to talk about this building. This building is architecture is so special, right? In fact, this building is a hotel and it's named Marina Singapore, and Chinese name 金沙酒店. And its architecture is so special. 3 individual buildings and have the platform on the top. And this hotel is a very luxury. If you want to stay the hotel one night, you need to prepare at least 12,000 NT dollar. At least 12,000 NT dollar only one night. So it's so expensive. And this is interior of the hotel, and you can see this artificial river, and you can rolling boat in the building. It is so interesting. And about the top platform, you can overlook whole Singapore, and there is a swimming pool, and you also can enjoy the sunbathing. And the last, I want to share about the F1 night race. Every time F1 come to Singapore, must attract many tourists and many F1 fans come to Singapore. It is so special because F1 night race in Singapore is the first night race in the world. And I have a dream. One day I want to go to Singapore and enjoy this, enjoy F1 night race in person. It must be so exciting. And about souvenir, you can buy the figurine of the statue of Merlion, or you can buy a postcard to send to your family or your friend, or just send to yourself. I always send to yourself because I will record my trip on the postcard, and this souvenir is so unique for me. And I think Singapore is a very beautiful country. And what do you think about Singapore? Do you think Singapore is worth visit? If your answer is yes, go to Singapore now. And this is our presentation today. Any questions? Thank you for listening.